Hey everyone, welcome to PAXP EP06. In this episode, we discuss best gaming moments of 2017, and more importantly, what holes in the library PlayStation and Xbox have to fill. And these aren't sexual. Hey guys, I'm your host Roman Tolstik. With me I got Victor Hernandez.
Hello.
And
and
and a very special guest.
Oh yeah, special guest.
It's me, Mario.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
Welcome, Mario.
Mario.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Hello.
So, are you done?
Are you?
Okay, anyway. So, in this episode, we got some very good things to talk about. To start off, best gaming moments of 2017.
Yes.
2017 has been filled with great games. Just kidding. Not really. It's actually been pretty vacant.
It kind of has. I might have to cover maybe a little bit of 2016 too. Gaming moments or something.
I mean, most likely the best game of the year by many publications would just be voted
Mario.
Yeah, Mario Odyssey 2, right? Odyssey 1. There's no 2.
Mario Odyssey. It's just Mario Odyssey.
It's just the very first one. I'm so used to sequels these days that it's kind of hard to say, like, what's a sequel and what's not.
Yeah.
Anyway, so get right into it. Some of the best moments I've had. One of the, I would say the best, no, I don't know if I could say this is the best moment, but one of the best moments I had was in Gears of War 4. And I know this game came out a little over a year ago, right? Because it came out at the same time this time, but last year. But I didn't get a chance to play with it until a little bit later because my girlfriend and I were finishing up Gears of War 3, and so we wanted to jump into Gears of War 4 after finishing that story. But I remember this moment like it was yesterday, and it wasn't. It actually happened a couple months ago. And here's what happened. Imagine you're fighting a bunch of enemies, just like in the Gears of War style. You're taking cover, you're rolling around, you're trying to conserve your ammo, and you're fighting off these bad guys coming at you, right? In this case, in the new Gears of War, what's really great is that you can't really just sit in cover like you did in the past ones, because they have multiple different enemies that kind of they run up to you and they force you out of cover, and they can grab you from behind and pull you over. But that's not what was really memorable. What was really memorable was this one moment. And actually, the first moment, right? Because it actually happened a few times more in the game, when this really big creature came out, and he's about the size of like maybe 2 buses together, and we start fighting him. And this guy is just like he's a bullet sponge, right? He's taking up shot after shot after shot, trying to kill everybody, and he keeps knocking us down one at a time. And finally, I remember getting knocked down, and I'm tapping A as fast as I can to get back up, right?
Oh, right.
And I'm hoping that Shirley gets to me in time to pick me up so I can get back in the fight. And as I'm trying to get up, she's, across the slightly like little opened up hub, right, fighting this monster, and she's shooting at it. The other AI guys are shooting at him. And next thing I remember was these tentacles grab my body, wrap around me, and all of a sudden everything is just dark, and the sound is muffled. And you just hear,
oh wow!
And I'm like, and at this point, I don't know what the hell just happened.
So like a muffled firefight.
Yeah,
going out.
And I'm like, did I just die? Is the game over? But the game's not ending.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, like, what the hell is going on? And all of a sudden, I see my guy get spit out by this monster. Apparently, he had swallowed me.
Wow.
After he takes you down, he swallows you in, and then he tries to make a beeline for the nearest exit.
Dine and dash.
What Shirley did was she was able to shoot him in his belly enough to where he was forced to vomit me back out, and I could get back in the fight.
Oh man, that's disgusting.
Yeah, and also so cool.
Wow, that's an awesome moment.
Yeah,
I love awesome gaming moments that just make you say, wow. Like the creativity that was put into something like that. Like, yeah, there's tons of things that are creative, but that kind of sequence and scripting and firefighting and relying on a second player to help you escape that is just like, it just amazes you. Yeah,
and the part, like, that's, I think what makes Gears of War so strong is that it forces you guys to work together. And I know that it works well with the AI because I played some of it single player on my own, but nothing beats having that moment with your girlfriend on the couch, who's not even really much of a gamer.
Wait, what kind of moment are you talking about? Because you can have various moments.
I can't go into detail about what happened after the Gears of War because I was so excited.
Oh, things got put in gear, all right.
Wait.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Okay, but it was great having that like little bit where I knew I had to rely on her. You know, they talk about power couples, right? Where like a wife is a doctor and a husband's a lawyer.
I know where you're going with it.
Right? In this case, the power couple was two people in love wielding chainsaw machine guns to save each other.
That's a real power couple right there.
Damn right.
Oh my goodness.
Damn right.
Man. So a awesome gaming moment that I had earlier this year actually came from an indie game. And it was called Journey. I don't know if you've heard of this.
I have heard of it. It's old.
Is it old?
Journey? Yeah, it came out like 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh, well, they must have just recently released it then. I think on Xbox or something. I got it through one of the subscriptions for free. So, but it's a very short game. It's like maybe 2 hours long. So you can play through it in one sitting, which is what I did. But it's very emotional in how it draws you in and keeps you wanting to play it.
Wait, the game's only 2 hours long?
Yeah.
So the entire game's a gaming moment.
Yeah, that's the entire that's what I'm saying. The entire game is the moment, and it's so emotional because it starts you off in this desert, essentially, this vast desert that seems to go on forever with these dunes that are as tall as you can imagine. So you're going over these dunes.
Dude, you know what that reminds me of?
What?
Uncharted, the most boring part of Uncharted, where you just walk through a desert.
Well, for you, this might be a very boring game to you.
That must have been when they were doing research for The Last of Us, because they're like, how can we extend this desert walking part?
This walking simulator. But this game is so unique, and you can fly because you have these kind of mystical powers, and you have to collect these, I guess, artifacts as you go. But what makes it very unique is that sometimes a second player just can randomly enter your game. So there'd be 2 players in, and you guys can kind of coexist as one and can help each other move along. But it's really the story and the journey of it all. I mean, it's just so emotional. And at the very end, you're going through like this blizzard, and
is this a spoiler alert?
No. Well, I mean, if you haven't played the game, maybe, but so you're going through.
That is the idea of spoilers.
Well, you just gave a spoiler of Gears of War. I mean,
that was just like that's like saying Gears of War, like you shoot bad guys as a spoiler.
No. You gave the whole getting swallowed up, and you didn't know what it was, and it gets spit out. Now somebody's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I'm in this muffled room that Roman was talking about." Great. Now I'm gonna get spit out any moment now. Oh, here I go. Anyway, but yeah, so
that's an emotional moment.
So in the end, you're going through like this blizzard that's gonna freeze you to death. And if a second player is with you, which I suggest you have a second player with you, just wait until you see somebody online randomly, because it's a random connection. You just randomly get put with somebody, and your characters have to stay close together. It's almost like they're staying warm and not freezing to death, and you just have to walk through this path again, walking simulator.
Man, Sony's really good at that, huh?
It wasn't even a Sony's exclusive though.
It wasn't?
No.
Oh.
But it's just a very emotional game, and when I reached the end and beat it, I was like, oh my god, like I felt like internal tears going off inside me. It was just it's a very passionate game, I think.
Do you think you're gonna be like the best man at this random guy's wedding who you had an emotional moment with in the blizzard?
I hope so.
Did you guys get naked and cuddle?
I think he sent me a friend request. And I was like, hey.
I bet he did.
He's like, what's your gamer tag, bro?
Oh, did he then stalk you on Facebook? Check your LinkedIn profile?
Maybe. He's waiting in the car. He's waiting in the car, actually. For all I know, it could have been a girl. I don't know.
Yeah, the odds are it's not. But only because only 40% of gamers are women.
That's big percentage.
Yeah, but still less than half.
Yeah.
So that sounds great. I love blizzards. Not as much as I loved seeing the entire world in front of you in Wildlands. When you first go up in the helicopter, and the helicopter takes you, like you could fly it up as high as you want. Oh, probably not maybe not as high as you want, but you can fly up really freaking high. And when you get up there, and at first, like when you first start Wildlands, you have this very narrow scope. You're this guy in the ground, and you could hop into like a minivan, grab your dudes, and go to the first mission, right? And then you do some stuff there, and then very shortly after, you get to helicopter, and you could choose to fly it if you want to. Of course, I'm sure everybody would, right? Because it's a new vehicle, and you want to explore the world a little better. And when you take it way up there, and especially if it's nighttime, and you fly up, or maybe the sun's setting, and you see all these little dots, all the little lights come on throughout the world, and you could see just for infinity.
You know where you can get that effect?
Where? Really?
Grand Theft Auto 5.
Can you?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah. I'm not really impressed with skylines that much. I don't know.
Yes.
Like for that game, I was impressed with the draw scale.
Yeah.
And how vast the landmass looked, but the quality of it wasn't great, in my opinion.
I thought it was
like
really good.
Like it just looked like it was peppered with all those little trees everywhere. Like it looked very systematic. Like it didn't look organic. It didn't look natural. It just looked like a grand draw scale with just peppered trees everywhere and a couple of, massive mountain cliffs or whatever. But the whole, I don't know. It was all right.
So moving on.
Sorry to burst your bubble. Like you bursted mine.
Obviously, you don't understand good games, but...
No. There was some unique moments where like you look off and there was a beautiful sunset. Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay, how about this?
But I feel like other games have that. Like The Witcher definitely outdoes, I think, that.
Okay.
Obviously, you can't fly a helicopter.
Yeah, what does that have to do with a helicopter in The Witcher? But okay, so how about this? In the same game, the moment where we were in a helicopter and we made no.
What the fuck?
No, and we jumped out, and that one time we landed the perfect stealth mission, parachuting into an enemy base, taking all the baggage that's raising any alarms.
Yeah.
How's that for a moment?
Oh, that was an epic moment. That was a good wow moment. I love that moment.
Yeah, that was on par with Halo 5, where you are above somebody in multiplayer and you nail this perfect power stomp right in their face.
Oh, I remember when I did the first power stomp in multiplayer, and I felt like a god.
Dude, it was amazing.
It was amazing.
It's so good.
It's just like like when you hear that thump in the charge, it's like nothing else.
Do you remember when we were playing co-op in the single player?
Co-op in the single player?
And we were on that. I think we were on the Elite's homeland. It was like the deserty looking kind of area, kind of like the Grand Canyon.
Is this when you power stomped me?
No, I didn't power stomp you. But I remember it was when we first learned the power stomp, and I was like, dude, Victor, check this out, right? And there was no enemies around.
Wasn't that power stomp only in the last one?
Yeah, it was only in Halo 5.
Yeah, okay.
And I was like, Victor, check this out. Check out how me power stomp this water. And I was expecting this big ass splash coming from this creek. And I get it to this highest rock I can. I do the power. I jump up in the air to get a little more ground. I fly down into the creek, smashing it with the fist. And it makes it the smallest ripple ever. Like nothing had happened. And I remember after that whole build up, you were just like quiet, and then you go, that's it?
Wow. That's so funny, dude.
Dude, it was so lame. Oh
yeah,
my God. Lamest game moment.
That move is though very, very fun to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's been a few times where I think we've power stomped each other in multiplayer.
Oh my God, so many times.
I remember the round that I first power stomped somebody and was successful. Like I think the rest of that round, all I wanted to do was power stomp, and I just kept on getting killed because I just kept on trying to power stomp. I'm like, I gotta do it again.
Dude, do you think it's gonna be like a sexual trim later? Like I power stomp that girl?
It is now. It definitely is.
I'm gonna power stomp her so hard.
Oh man, I'd power stomp her.
It's gonna be like
I'm gonna power stomp my wife tonight.
Oh my God. I don't know what that means. I don't even want to think about it. Anyway, as long as I'm not the one being power stomped.
Hey, you coined the phrase.
Dude, that could be like a prison thing, right?
Oh no! Don't
okay, anyway, let's move on. How about you? Any more gaming moments?
So two, and one is I just recently started playing the Uncharted Lost Legacy game.
That's the newest one, right?
The newest one, yeah, it came out.
Is that good?
Well, so I didn't play Uncharted 4.
Which was the best one.
I just haven't got to it yet.
It's so good and best storyline by far.
So with that being said, Uncharted Lost Legacy is far better than 1, 2, and 3. It is just amazing.
Story-wise or what?
Story-wise and just the gameplay itself is so fun. I haven't beat it. I think I'm close. I think I'm probably like 6 hours into it, and they say it's like an 8-hour game or something like that. So I think I'm very close to the end. But the story is very good. The obviously the graphics are amazing, and you're exploring this. I want to say Tibetan or maybe some place in like India, but just the like. In that game, you've played part 4. I'm sure you encountered just like these massive statues hidden within this jungle wilderness, or like this awe-inspiring dilapidated ruins or something like that. right?
Or
do you not remember something?
I don't remember that. What I do remember, like the one scene that stands out for me most of all in Uncharted was when they go to either Ireland or Scotland. I don't remember which specifically. And there's this gorgeous field filled with all kinds of fauna or flora.
Yeah,
flora.
That sounds beautiful.
Fauna or flora? Well, one of those two, the fauna or flora. Plants. Yeah. It's filled with a bunch of different plants. And it just looks like a painting you'd see on somebody's wall. It was just gorgeous. And that I think it's the moment.
Well, see, that's the kind of effect. I mean, I just see these grand statues and these palaces in Uncharted Last of Us, and it just looks amazing. I mean, the depth and the detail that is in these things. And one of the most powerful ones, I think, is when you're walking into this cave and you see these grand statues of like Shiva or some of the other kind of ritualistic depictions of whatever they believe in. I think it's just a very important game to play because it just has that grand scale. And the other in-game moment that reminded me of that was when I played the very first Uncharted on PlayStation 3. One of the things that surprised me the most is when you're controlling Nathan Drake and you walk into the water and you walk back out of the water. His clothes were wet. Yeah. To where where you submerge into the water.
Witcher does that too.
Well,
no, not that like that. Not that.
Yeah. But when I saw that, I mean, this was PlayStation 3. This was like what, 10 years ago?
That was really cool.
So when I saw that water, like his clothing was wet, it just looked fucking like really wet, like real. That was like one of the most.
It got you wet.
It got me totally wet. Man, this episode is something else.
It's naughty, man.
Anyway, yeah. So those Uncharted has offered a lot of wow moments for me. It's a good series. I love it.
Yeah, I would say part 1 was pretty good. Mm-hmm. I think I loved part 2. I thought part 2 was amazing. Part 3 though, by far my least favorite.
Yeah.
I was just bored playing that game. I just wanted to finish it for the sake of finishing it, right? Because I stuck through part 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then part 4 was the high.
I thought there was some fun parts to part 3, but it was kind of...
do you remember any of part 3? Like, the only part I remember was the desert, and that was hella boring.
I think in part 3 there was an area where you're trying to escape the helicopter or another convoy of trucks chasing you through the village.
It's totally different. Trucks and a helicopter?
Well, both? It's both. Oh. And you're escaping while you're driving through this village along this cliffside mountain. And just that whole intense chase scene was intense.
That was a tank.
I think there's a different area where you're escaping from the tank.
It's too much. There's too much going on.
That's one thing I noticed, that they had very similar sequences that were the same, but just change it up. Like one you're escaping from the tank, one you're escaping from the car. So maybe that's why it was boring, because it was kind of repetitive.
Yeah, I think it was, maybe it's just too much the same, you know. And the story wise, like in Uncharted, actually 1, 2, and 3, I couldn't tell you what happened anymore. Part 4 though, I could tell you what happened.
Part 1, I could probably tell you if I thought about it, because I can kind of remember.
And we know, like, Uncharted is an amazing series, an amazing game for the PlayStation. But with that, we also know that PlayStation and Xbox both have some pretty massive holes to fill in their library, because they each system kind of caters to a different clientele, right? Whereas the PlayStation side kind of tailors to the the loner with no friends. So he can play by himself. The Xbox the Xbox is really all about having your pals play with you.
And you have none.
I have one.
And he's a PlayStation guy.
But I force him to play Xbox with me.
Yeah, I don't mind.
So speaking of these holes though, why don't we start off with PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
Like PlayStation, its strengths are RPGs. Right, because it does a really good job with like the what are those incredibly hard games? Bloodborne.
Oh, right, yeah, right? Yeah. Bloodborne is so fucking hard.
What's the other game that's like that? Dead Souls, Dark Souls.
Dark Souls.
But
isn't that on Xbox?
Some of them are, some because there's 3, right? Some aren't, and they always kind of start off on PlayStation. Right. PlayStation's known for them. So it's got kind of that, and it's got Persona 5, which is supposed to be incredible. So the PlayStation's got that RPG side fixed.
That's what I hate. Bloodborne was a beautiful game, but it was so fucking hard that I raged quit and I just couldn't play it anymore.
Yeah, I don't understand how people could like it.
I don't get that at all. I wanted to continue playing it so bad. But I just couldn't get over the fact of how fucking hard it is. And then people are gonna be like, "Oh, well, you just can't play hard games." No, I want to enjoy my games.
Yeah, I want to.
Like I want to. Yeah, like I just want a little bit of difficulty and a lot of entertainment. And when you have a lot of difficulty, you can't get that entertainment. You know what I'm saying? And I just...
You're just frustrated the whole time.
I just get frustrated. Yeah, I'm just frustrated.
And that's why people say like, oh, well, the sense of accomplishment when you beat something is so great. The sense of accomplishment is nice, right? But that split second of sense of accomplishment versus 3 hours of you trying to beat one boss, the scales are way too far off there.
Yeah, it's not worth it. I don't... It's not so much the sense of accomplishment of the game when you finish it for me. It's the journey of playing the game. Like I enjoy the game as I'm playing it. When I'm done playing it, I don't feel a sense of accomplishment. I'm just like, all right, cool. I finished the game, on to the next one. Now there are some games that I get emotionally attached to, and at the end, I might have not necessarily a sense of accomplishment, but a sense of like experiencing something good. And in that case, I can appreciate beating a game, but for the most part, I like the entertainment factor during the game.
Yeah, and if anybody out there wants that same sense of accomplishment that you get in Bloodborne in a multiplayer setting, just go play Call of Duty with a bunch of kids. Yeah. Right? You'll get killed every 5 seconds over and over and over again. And when you finally knock one down, and when you shoot him in the back somehow because he's busy doing something else, you'll get that sense of accomplishment.
Then you can tell that kid that you fucked his mother.
Yeah. And then followed by a bunch of racial slurs.
Yeah.
The other thing that PlayStation is really good at doing is adventure games, right? Like they have The Last of Us, they have the Uncharted series, which does really well. And they also do a really good job with action games, like God of War.
Yeah.
Right? And they also have Knack, which is kind of like, I guess, action adventures, but nobody really cares about Knack. But and Infamous Second Son, or the Infamous series as a whole, that's also another really good one. It's like an action adventurous thing, right? So Sony's got those covered.
I never really played those. Are those multiplayer at all?
No.
No, right?
Well, as far as I know, no. I played, I think, a little bit of some, but not. I couldn't tell you right at this point if any of them are multiplayer or not. Where Sony's lacking though, and I can already feel the hate mail coming at me. But one area where Sony's lacking is racing.
Racing, yeah.
And right away, I know like somebody is gonna pop into their little computer chair, throw on their headphones, and put on some death metal to type up a bunch of trolling emails to me. But hear me out. Sony's got really 2 franchises, right?
For racing?
For racing.
Okay.
They have Gran Turismo, which is massive.
Yeah.
And they have I just spaced on the other one. It's a kind of arcadey. Came out for a long time when the PlayStation 4 kind of came out. It's really, really pretty. What the hell is it called?
Oh, I know which one you're talking about, but I can't remember the name because I didn't play it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so hopefully everybody can figure out what it is. It's basically like a really pretty game.
Is that the one where you drive across the states?
No, that's the Crew.
Oh, that's the Crew.
Systems.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
It's something else. I can't believe I'm spacing the name right now.
I'll look it up.
But anyway, so that first one it's arcadey, but in the non-fun sense of arcadey, because it also tries to kind of go for realism. And so what ends up happening is the cars kind of feel like they turn on an axis rather than with the wheels. Mm-hmm. And the gameplay itself, it's just not a fun game. It's lacking in content. Mm-hmm. And it's Drive Club. That's what it is. Yeah, Drive Club. But it's a beautiful, beautiful game. To this day, it came out as a PlayStation launch game, and to this day, it's still one of the prettiest games out there. But it's just not fun. It's just not a very good game. But as far as Gran Turismo goes, and this is
since you're a racing game guy, have you ever played any of the F1 games?
Yeah.
Yeah, are they fun?
They're okay.
Yeah.
They're okay.
Not really much of a Formula One racer.
If you like just Formula One and Formula One, nothing but Formula One, yeah.
Yeah.
You like it, but it's kind of like, let's say you want to play a shooting game, right? Like I don't know, Call of Duty, and you only get one gun. Right? And that's
yeah, that's kind of lame.
So the only thing you ever get is one gun, and half the fun of Call of Duty is experimenting with different weapons and see which one fits you best.
Yeah,
Kind of the same thing with these cars. Like in a racing game, you kind of experiment with cars and see which one handles to your style of driving best.
Right.
Whereas in Formula One, you get just the one thing.
The one style.
Yeah, but the game was pretty. It was fun. It was exciting. One thing that was cool was it had like accidents in Formula One, where like random accidents. Like for instance, your tire would pop.
Oh.
Yeah, like stuff like that, like just randomly. So that's kind of neat. But as far as the PlayStation lineup with racing games, Gran Turismo. Here's why I don't think Gran Turismo is a strong suit for PlayStation. One,
it isn't anymore.
Yeah, first of all, it comes out once every 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, didn't it used to come out at least every 2 years?
I don't know. I mean, yeah maybe.
But yeah, now I mean, it hasn't. What, they released one just recently, and that's like what, 5 or 6 years.
I don't know, a long time ago. But here's the thing: a racing game, like me, I love racing games. But even then, a racing game can only keep my attention for about 6 months.
That's a long time.
Yeah. So if you're a PlayStation guy and you want to play PlayStation racing games, you have Gran Turismo. It's going to last you for 6 months. And then what about the other 4.5 years? I mean, you got Drive Club. You've been bored of this game for about 3 years now. So you really have nothing. But beyond that, I think the thing that really sits with me wrong with Gran Turismo in general, and I'm not talking about just this last one, because this last one obviously has a huge omission of a single-player campaign, where now they replace it with these little events, right, which last just a little bit of time and it's gone. And most of it's been focused only on the multiplayer. And for people who don't really like multiplayer that much, especially for racing games, because the slightest bit of lag completely destroys it in a simulator.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden you could be driving perfectly straight in one area, coming up to a turn, just about to overtake somebody, and that lag means that you end up in a ditch somewhere without even knowing what happened. But beyond that even, is the sense of speed. If you play Forza and you look at how fast you're driving, say you're going 150 miles an hour, it feels like you're going 150 miles an hour. The screen has a shake to it. The windshield wipers are vibrating. Like the whole thing, like the sound just makes you feel like you're in this roar of a machine.
Right.
In Gran Turismo, it feels like you're doing 35.
Feels like you're in a private jetliner.
Not a private jetliner. It feels like you're in one of those like smart cars. You're going 35 miles an hour.
Can't even hear the engine because it's electric. Like
and you're going doop doop doop. You know? And as far as the sound goes, whereas on Forza and Drive Club and other games, like it sounds like the roaring muscle car that it is. In Gran Turismo, it kind of sounds like you're sitting on top of a vacuum cleaner. Just like all you hear is like,
yeah.
Right, maybe you caught something, right?
It caught some hair.
Yeah.
Like
that right there is the essence of Gran Turismo.
That's funny. Yeah. That's a big thing for me. If a game doesn't have good sound quality, or realistic and plausible sound quality, then you're not going to get in it. Yeah, especially for racing. I mean, I would think that racing games need to rely on sound more because you want to hear the car, the road, the tires, the screeching, the brakes, the vibration of the windows or something like that. So,
like when I play Forza, I turn my sound up so I could hear not only. I mean, obviously you hear the engine sound, right? But one thing that's cool is you hear the tires, and you could actually once you get pretty good, you could hear it to where they're on the verge of losing grip. And you can reposition your car to align with that. You hear your gear shifts. You hear that little, from the exotic cars, that little flame that comes out of the exhaust when you hear it.
Yeah.
And you hear
man.
Dude, and you hear the turbo kick in and everything.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah, because so a friend that I know, a coworker actually, just bought a Subaru supercharged, one of the legacies.
WRX or what?
The WRX. And it's supercharged, and he got a custom intake on it, and he got a chip in it, and he was taking me driving in it, and the same thing. You hear that supercharged with a releasing the CO2, and then the backflow or whatever. It sounds so amazing. So if you were to hear that in a game, I love the sound of good cars. Yeah. Like when you hear a Corvette or I'm not talking about Lamborghinis.
Sound.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about Lamborghinis or exotic. Just a good, powerful car, like a good Mustang or a good, just a muscle car that just has power. When you just hear it roaring, it takes you to another. And
even when they're idling, you could tell the difference between say inline V6 versus a flat or something else, right? Where you hear that little jun 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 or each engine has its own little rev cycle to it.
You can hear the piston cycling or something like that. Yeah, I love car sounds, dude. So I can see how good audio in a racing game can just get your rocks off.
So next on this car podcast, we're going to talk about the benefits of having an electric car. Okay, so anyway, that's like one of the holes I found in PlayStation was racing games. What do you think? Like, if you were gonna name one major hole that PlayStation needs to fill right now, what would it be?
So when you threw this topic at me, I laughed.
Because PlayStation has no holes.
Because PlayStation has no
Except
holes.
it has so many fucking holes.
Except now that I think about it, it does lack some holes. It lacks the racing aspect.
Holes? No, it has holes.
It has holes. It has holes. Three holes to be exact. No. The racing, like you said, they just don't have a very good, and like you said, Gran Turismo has just kind of lost that appeal.
Yeah, it was great at part 1, a revolutionary part 1.
Yeah.
It was amazing at part 2, and after that, it started losing its luster, and it's because other companies have started coming up with similar games that can compete with them, and especially Forza.
Yeah,
Forza is just overtaking it in every possible way.
Yeah, so PlayStation lacks in that. They also lack in good co-op experience games, I think.
Yeah, and multiplayer in general.
And multiplayer in general, kind of, I would say.
Like,
I mean, they have...
We're not counting third party, right? We can't count the Destinies, the Divisions, the...
No. But I mean, like the Uncharted, they have a decent multiplayer. I played the multiplayer on...
How many Uncharted games are there? Between the last two systems? One. Not Uncharted, Last of Us. There's only one Last of Us, right?
Oh, no, but the Last of Us multiplayer is so fun, dude.
Yeah, but there's only one. Between two systems.
That's all you need.
No, that's all you need. You can't say that's a string.
No, they have two. They have The Last of Us, and then they have The Last of Us Remastered. No, but I think they have a decent multiplayer. So I can't really, for me, I can't consider that. I think it's a co-op.
Can you really pit their multiplayer against Halo and Gears of War?
Gears of War, yes. Halo, no.
Yeah, well,
Halo is just too fun, dude. And as awful as I am at Halo multiplayer, I still kind of have a fun time.
And when you have those moments, when
you and I have those good games, it's like 1 out of every 10 or 15.
Blue moon, yeah.
But when we have those good games where we end up out on top, dude, you feel like a god.
Yeah, seriously, even better than Battlefield. As much as I love Battlefield, like nothing I think competes to Halo multiplayer moments.
Really?
I feel like when we're doing really good, and especially when the game is really close, and we're the ones that take it over the edge, like, and you have these little set pieces to where, like, so let's say there's 3 bad guys, right, and like 2, like you and me, and we somehow take on 3 guys and we kill them all. Like, dude, nothing feels better. It's just it's so fluid too, to where you just kind of like cruising through a level.
Yeah, no, I love Halo multiplayer. It's so much fun. I wish I were better at it because I would enjoy it more.
Got to be younger.
Yeah, but I think for me, Battlefield multiplayer is more exciting for me because I'm fucking so good at Battlefield.
I would say in general, I like Battlefield as a multiplayer game better. Yeah. Battlefield 4, not Battlefield 1.
Yeah, 3 and 4. Well, all of them prior to 1.
Yeah, but I'm talking about specifically those moments where you're doing really well. Yeah. I don't know how, because I think Battlefield maybe just because it's so spread out, like those moments are kind of enclosed in these little tiny areas, right? You have a really good moment, and you have a period where you're just running or driving, and you have a really good moment. And it was in Halo. If you have these moments, like it's just like a tsunami of like goodness just going. Yeah. You're pushing through these enemies, and like you feel like nothing can stop you.
It's in those moments where I feel the sense of accomplishment that you say.
Exactly.
It's in those moments where I just feel like I accomplished something that I thought I never could.
You're like,
and I go into it surprised that I did so well
because you don't expect to.
So it's like that. Like, so I feel more accomplishment in, say, a Halo match that I do good than I do a Battlefield match, because I mean, in Battlefield matches I do generally pretty good in all of them. So I can see where those Halo moments are just can overshadow, how good you do at Battlefield.
The other area where I think that PlayStation is lacking, platformers.
Yeah.
Like, because they really don't have much, do they?
Mm-hmm. No. Xbox made a really good platformer that I liked. Oh my god. And I forgot the name of it. I'll think of it here in a second. It's the game you haven't played. It's where you play that girl who controls all these kind of robotic animals with the crystal orb.
Recore.
Recore, yes. I love that. Xbox.
Is that a platformer?
Yeah, well, they call it a platformer because it kind of goes to that retro where you literally are platforming through most of the levels. But that's a really good game that and yeah, I agree. I think PlayStation lacks platformers now that you mention it.
Yeah, and then on my list I have a couple others like MMOs. Obviously, there's not really much there in terms of like first party stuff, right?
For what, either system you mean, or just
for PlayStation? This is just for PlayStation stuff. Strategy.
MMOs, well, but Xbox doesn't have. Well, yeah.
So strategy games doesn't have much of that.
Yeah. I feel like it's hard. I don't think the market for strategy games are big though.
There isn't, especially for consoles.
I don't think that'll ever be big on any system. It's just.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, I would say that prior to Age of Empires, strategy probably wasn't huge on PC either. There was a lot of strategy games. The strategy
game that we played that you brought over my house that one time.
Is that Risk? It's a board game.
But is that an Xbox exclusive?
I don't know.
Because I don't think I've ever seen it on PlayStation.
I have no idea.
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe it is. But yeah, it was Risk Factions. And I wouldn't really... I don't know. It is a strategy game, but it's more of like a board game.
Yeah.
Right? And that's kind of like...
Well, it's a strategy game that they converted to a board game style, right? Because it wasn't Risk a strategy game at first?
It was always a board game at first.
Well, but a strategy board game.
Strategy board game, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess, either way. But, okay, so if PlayStation called you up right now, and actually, you know what I think? So, like, just looking at two consoles, the companies, right? Microsoft with the Xbox division, and PlayStation, Sony with the PlayStation division, right? When you see them at E3, Microsoft is kind of like these guys wearing t-shirts and jeans. They're kind of more relaxed. PlayStation guys are in suits. So when I say,
we got more class.
Yeah. When PlayStation calls you up, I don't think they'll be calling you up. What they probably would do is they first send you a formal request via email, and follow up with a personal visit from a butler who breaks down your door, drags you out of your house, and says, "You have no choice but help us out." When that butler comes, and he says, "Victor, we have some holes in our video games. In our video games, help us fill those." What would be the dream game that you make to fill one of those holes?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
No, I the only thing I can think of that they could make is a good.
I already have one in my head. I just
open world RPG co-op game. Take for example.
Play after that.
Take for example.
This is gonna help you. Open world co-op game called SOCOM 4.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, SOCOM? Are you talking about the old SOCOM Navy SEALs?
Yeah, I remake that open world co-op.
I wish they would.
Dude,
that was my favorite. That was my favorite franchise. Yes, oh my god.
You're welcome.
No. Dude, I'm glad.
Welcome. I told you, this is worth interrupting you.
You know what? I'm actually surprised you brought that up.
Because SOCOM was awesome.
SOCOM was awesome. Dude, I played every SOCOM. I probably played thousands of hours of that. I was in a fucking clan. I played every night, probably 3 to 4 hours a night. And it was the most amazing time of my life.
One thing I really appreciate about SOCOM?
Yeah.
When you reload your gun,
yeah.
If you you shoot your ammo halfway through a clip, when you take that clip out and you put it back in, you still have that half.
Yeah,
right?
They just started doing that, I think, in the last two.
Was it? Okay, but I really appreciated that little
details. Yeah, like it didn't give you a
no
full
other game
clip.
does that.
Yeah, and you could I would hate doing that, so I would automatically reload, and then I'd forget shit. I still have 15 bullets in that clip, so I'd cycle through to that clip because I wanted to use that clip up.
Yeah, dude, it was really cool.
It was so good, man. SOCOM was the best single player game and multiplayer game I think I've ever played in my entire life.
So how would this
ever? But they fucked it up on SOCOM 4.
They did?
The very last one.
Oh, I didn't know there was a fourth
one. There was SOCOM Confrontation, 1, 2, SOCOM Confrontation, and then SOCOM 4.
I think I played SOCOM 2. I think I got to SOCOM 1 and 2.
Yeah, and they just dropped the ball in the last one.
So how would your dream game of SOCOM open world co-op look?
I don't know if I'd want it open world. I think I would want it...
Because it reminds you too much of Ghost Recon, huh?
Yeah, I would want it in the small pockets. How did you describe it? The hubs. I would want it in small hubs, just how they had it in the original SOCOM. You would, each mission you were infiltrating an area, and you explored through that whole area to the very end, from point A to point B. And you had a little bit of leeway to go. It wasn't completely linear, like you were in a corridor. You had a little bit of room to go either way because you wanted to accomplish. You can accomplish the mission in different ways. But I think for that game, it would have to be hub-based. It couldn't be open world.
Yeah.
Because it's mission-based.
I mean,
that's how Navy SEALs work. They go on a mission, and they get out. You can't just stay...
They don't have a life outside the...
Yeah, you can't just stay in the world.
Mission.
Yeah, you know, what
That's
you...
a joke.
I tried to ignore it, but... God damn it. But yeah, it would have to stay hub-based, exactly how it was at SOCOM Confrontation, and then...
Is there anything you would change about SOCOM?
Not that I can remember. No. No. If I could change anything, I would have them reverse SOCOM 4 like it was never made.
Do they have vehicles you could hop into?
No.
That's one thing I would like to see added.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Right?
Yeah. The only thing is...
Like, make the hubs a little bit bigger?
Yeah, make the hubs a little bit bigger. And then maybe just add a little bit of vehicle play in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing about SOCOM, though, is, like, it was all about stealth. I mean, like... They wanted you to play that game in a stealthy manner. I remember when I first got SOCOM 1 and I was playing with the headset and you can talk your commands to the squad.
Yeah,
and I'm in my room playing and my mom walks in. She's like, who are you talking to? I'm just like, I'm talking to the game, Mom. Leave me alone. Like, she literally thought I was talking to somebody. And I'm like, fire team, shoot target, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, do. It was, oh man, that game was amazing.
Okay, so on the Xbox side... It obviously has no weaknesses. It is the ultimate system, and if you don't own
Except
an
for
Xbox,
its players
are awesome. And we can't say anything else because these players are listening to this podcast, and they're so great, and we appreciate and love you. And as a special shout out to the players, I want to give a special thanks to four people. One, Saforn, Victor's wife, who's been supporting him. Shirley, my girlfriend, who's been supporting me. And also two very special friends who have listened to some of our podcasts and given us feedback and a little bit of advice and remain loyal followers. Nick and Nate.
Thank you.
Two N's.
And an N.
And an like M&M's. And an N.
Are they like...
They should meet. You think they'd have a lot to talk about? They're
know.
both white.
Oh.
Right? That's something.
They get along.
Yeah.
Awkward moment.
What kind of food do you like? Crackers?
I just got that. Oh,
anyway, on the Xbox side, so the perfect console. Let's talk about its strengths.
Wait, did you just say the perfect console?
The perfect console.
Yeah.
Let's talk about its strengths. Actually, wait. Before we jump into that, there is something I want to mention about this. The perfect console.
Huh.
From now on, we'll refer to the Xbox as the perfect console.
Yeah, right.
On the perfect console, you know what they're doing? Not only are Xbox One enhancements coming to Xbox One games, they're bringing it to Xbox 360 games. Some of the 360 games are getting 4K treatment.
Some of the enhancements are going to go
Xbox One X enhancements are going to 360 games.
Wow.
So, for instance, Skate, Gears of War 3, and Mirror's Edge will all get Xbox One X enhancements, so they'll get like 4K treatments.
Because all their predecessors sucked, so they're like, oh shit, we better beef up the originals.
Wait, what? The predecessors are all good. Have you played Mirror's Edge? It's awesome.
But you said, did I say predecessor?
Yeah.
Sorry,
confused.
I mean the following game. You said part 2.
No, Gears of War 4 was awesome. But yeah, part 2 Mirror's Edge was pretty bad.
Yeah, anyway.
Probably because it wasn't 4K. Just kidding. 4K? Anyway, that's in Spanish.
I got
that. Another thing I wanted to mention, Grand Theft Auto 5 has, this past week, become the best-selling video game of all time.
Yeah.
85 million copies.
It's incredible.
It's unbelievable.
The article that I read said in the U.S., but I'm almost certain it's in the whole entire world.
Maybe in the world. Yeah, maybe in the world. These numbers are for the U.S. only.
Like, because what other game would sell that much?
And let's be honest, what other country matters?
Exactly. So
Japan? Come on,
man. Puny little island. We already stormed you once. Anyway, I would think that's probably true. I mean, likely.
And the last little snippet I do want to mention is that, can we please stop making Star Wars games?
Oh man! Did you hear that they took down the microtransactions because everybody was so pissed off about it?
Yeah, they took those down at least temporarily. They haven't
for now,
forever or not. But it didn't get very good reviews. Star
really?
Wars. Yeah, I think it's getting like 6s and 7s.
Wow.
Yeah.
On the single player campaign?
Or just
overall?
Overall, wow. Yeah. But as a rule, like I do like Star Wars, the movies. I think they're pretty good.
I like
I'm
them
not
too.
a fanatic.
No, I'm not a fanatic
There are
either.
so many games now, like DICE, right, with the Battlefronts 1 and 2.
Yeah.
We got Visceral, which is working on that other Star Wars game.
I thought they closed
That
down.
will close down, thank God. I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry. I apologize. Not that thank God that it closed down. Because actually, I would say that out of all the Star Wars games that are coming up and have been released, that one looked the most promising. It looks so freaking, it's so pretty from a graphical perspective. So that one, I'm gonna say that it is not gonna get released. That one did look really cool. But it's got the Lego Star Wars games, and then Respawn is working on another Star Wars game.
Really?
So the guys who made Titanfall 1 and 2.
Yeah.
What's his name? Vasella?
I have no idea.
The head. Shoot, I can't remember his name right now. But he was the mastermind or co-masterminded the Call of Duty series. They're making a single player based Star Wars game, third person, not first person.
Huh.
And so some I think 2 EA insiders came out and said part of the reason Visceral was shut down was because relative to the Respawn Star Wars game, the Visceral version was not shaping up nearly as well and nearly as fast. And so a lot of people I know are upset.
So they were probably testing different developers to see who can produce the best Star Wars game, and then pull the plug on the one that just wasn't cutting it.
I don't know if they were really testing him, because I think both games are several years in development. That'd be a lot of money, right? Because payroll is like hundreds of
But
people.
why would they develop the same game from the same franchise?
It's supposed to be different games, but
Yeah, but one's still going to take away from the other.
yeah,
I mean, gamers
I agree.
Gamers only have so much money to invest, and I doubt a Star Wars. A lot of people wouldn't buy both Star Wars. They would pick and choose.
But you're assuming they're coming out at the same time. What if they were staggered, like say a year or two apart?
Yeah, but then you still have the 2 Battlefronts, and then these 2, and then this Lego. I think it's just too many Star Wars coming out.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Please stop the Star Wars craze. It's not. Star Wars is cool.
Yeah.
It's not the best thing ever made.
Yeah.
It really isn't. It's a bunch of dudes with swords that light up. I had one of those as a kid. You don't need to make a game about me.
Yeah, they're going to outplay this franchise if they do it the way.
Jeez, the freaking
I
ways,
think,
right?
in my opinion. For the people who love Star Wars, they're probably like, "Oh, fuck you! Yeah, this is great."
Anyway, so as far as the Xbox exclusives, they just announced a Star Wars game. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But as far as the Xbox exclusives go, let's talk about the strong one. Where its strengths are. So obviously, we have a strength in shooters. I think nobody can deny that, right? Because Xbox has Gears of War, which is probably
But not just shooters, but co-op and multiplayer and single player, like all aspects of shooters.
Yeah, all aspects of shooters. Because like Gears of War is 5 games in now, right? It's incredibly strong. Probably the best third-person shooter out there in the market.
But you said it's kind of overdue its welcome, though.
Did I say that?
In a previous podcast, you're like, it's kind of outdone itself. Or not outdone itself, but
so
it's kind of...
I don't know if I said that. If I did, I would agree with my former self.
I'm going to have to edit that portion of the previous
No, I
podcast.
agree. I think as amazing as Gears of War is, I'm at a point where I've bullet sponged enough.
Yeah.
I need something more. I need something more than the same kind of gameplay.
Yeah.
And Gears of War 4 is beautiful. It's fun. If you haven't played it, I would highly recommend it. But it's still a strong franchise, and I bet you it's gonna keep going. And I bet you it'll keep going really strong. The other one is Halo, which I'm by no means tired of. And I think Halo's strength is that they're reinventing itself now. It's reinventing itself now in terms of gameplay, right? It was this last Halo we got was so different from the past Halos, but still had that a little bit of nostalgia in it.
Yeah.
To where it just worked so perfectly.
Yeah, they added a lot of stuff to that, like the power stomping.
The power
stomping, the different moves,
the jets that you could zoom side to side or left and right.
Yeah, like jetting left or right. Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, they added a bunch of stuff.
The part where you could grab onto ledges.
No.
Like, there are so many changes. Oh, the shoulder punch, right?
Oh, the melee shoulder.
Yeah. Like, everything has been changed, but everything's been changed in such a smooth way, right? And even
they made it more fluid.
Yeah, and even new game modes like that. That one where you have breakout, I think they call it.
Yeah.
Where you could have like a certain amount of lives per each team, right? And when you die, but only for that round.
Yeah.
That was so intense.
You know what's odd about that, though? A lot of the things that they added to the Halo 5 are coming from the Spartan suit. Why didn't they ever add those earlier if the Spartan suit always had these capabilities of boosting?
They have an awesome solution for that.
What?
The Spartan suit is getting upgraded.
Did they say
Yeah,
that?
in every Halo, it's a new Spartan suit. Like I don't know if in every Halo, but it upgrades. Because it makes sense, right? Because in real life, technology is always upgrading, right?
Yeah.
So why if this
They're already in deep space, though.
yeah. So why wouldn't the most advanced technology in the world get upgraded further and further?
Yeah. No, that makes
So
sense.
yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. But that's kind of what I like
So
about
shut
it.
up, you Xbox hater.
No, like the power of the power stomp doesn't come from him naturally. It comes from his suit. So I like how the effects that they added are logical because it's coming from the Spartan suit.
You know what doesn't make sense to me?
What?
Is when they lose abilities. Like for instance, and I think in either Halo Reach or 3, I don't remember which one it was, Spartans had a bunch of other abilities. Like the power, I think it was called the power lock or suit lock or something like that, where in multiplayer or a single player, a Spartan would punch the ground he's standing on and become impervious to all damage for like 30 seconds. So I don't know what happened to that ability. It's just gone. Like there's a suit upgrade. I mean, they need to like take a look at that malware one more time or something.
Yeah, that's weird.
But anyway,
What Halo was that in?
3 or Reach. I don't remember which one specifically. And obviously, in the shooters, it has Quantum Break, which again, if you haven't played that game, it's incredible. This is one of those rare Xbox games where there's not any multiplayer to it, but the single player is so strong, both gameplay and story wise, and visually, it is outstanding.
It's like a cinematic adventure.
Yeah. Like especially the top parts where the time just freezes randomly, right?
Yeah.
Like you're walking. I mean, it's not random. Right? It's all predetermined by the developer. But to you, as a player, you're fighting through, and all of a sudden everything freezes.
Yeah.
And like you can see bad guys like hovering in midair. Or
That's one of the wow moments.
Yeah.
Like
that was so
like
cool.
the in-game, like one of the best in-game moments was that effect of specifically when you're trying to cross that bridge and the ship is coming in and it's a ship, right?
Oh, it's breaking the bridge apart.
And it's breaking through the bridge.
And it's going back and forth.
back and forth. And then it just freezes.
So cool.
And you have to cross. I think if you have to cross that bridge or something before time collapses around it and it continues. Like that's one of those wow moments that you just like.
That was insane.
Yeah.
I gotta play that game again. That will get 4K treatment.
Yeah, dude, that got a 4K
good.
treatment, and its total download is like 186 gigabytes or something like that. 170 something gigabytes.
Yeah, some of those games are insane.
That's ridiculous. So even though you're like, 1 terabyte hard drive, you're still only going to be able to fit 4 or 5 games.
I'm actually already thinking of getting just like for my Xbox One.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of getting an external hard drive for this one.
External?
Yeah.
Can't you get an internal one? There's not a slot to put it internally?
I don't know.
Because I thought you could do that for the...
I know you can do that for the PlayStation. I don't know if you do that for the Xbox One X.
Oh, so you have to get an external.
Yeah, I don't know if you do or not.
Yeah.
For the Xbox One, I had an internal, and it's really easy. For the internal, all you do is you buy an external hard drive, and you plug a cable into it, and then you're done. And
Internal?
literally, that's it.
Internal?
External.
Oh, external.
That's
Yeah.
all you do. It's like super simple. If you ever wanted to upgrade, that's it. And the Xbox will it'll automatically detect it, and it'll automatically ask you, "Do you want to use this?" And you'll say yes, and that's it.
That's
It's the easiest setup in the world. But we're talking about games right now. So shooters definitely has down. Racing games, it's got Forza Motorsport and Forza Horizon. They're both Forzas, but they're very different Forzas. One's arcadey, one is sim, and they come out. One of the two comes out every single year. So there's never a shortage of Xbox exclusive racing games. So it's got that area covered. As far as anything else, that's kind of the challenge, right? Because it's got the multiplayer, obviously. And it's got the shooter side. But where I think it's really lacking is in the action segment. So it has Rise, which I know didn't get the best reviews, but I think
I loved Rise.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I thought it was one of the best hack and slash games I've ever played.
And I bet you any listener, to this day, if you go and play that game, it will still be one of the best looking games on any
it was
console.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
The very high poly count.
How the hell did they even
Very
do that?
good atmosphere, very good story.
I don't understand.
Action sequences are amazing.
Yeah, and like the decapitations and when you do the special ones.
Yeah.
Dude, it was incredible.
Yeah.
You can see the faces just like...
No, the sword play, I would have to say the sword play in that game is probably some of the best sword play I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's just,
I wish they would... Whatever happened to Crytek? Are they still... I know they're still making games, but they're not making any big games anymore. I think that game was like bankrupt or something.
I think they're just more relied on. Well, they're not even relied on as a standard game engine anymore, are they?
Are they used? I don't know. Because I remember they came out with their game engine and they were started licensing it, but I don't know if it was really used much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It was really powerful, but I think the problem was that around that same time, DICE came out with Frostbite. EA went all Frostbite on every game, and EA being the biggest third-party publisher, I mean, that kind of takes away from anybody else using your game engine, right? I mean, there's a bunch of smaller guys that can use it, but really, if there's that Frostbite, which can be used by other developers as well, I believe.
I would think, though, that Frostbite is kind of like exclusive to EA, though.
Maybe. But EA makes so many freaking games.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, Frostbite is so versatile. It's used in action games. It's used in first-person shooters. It's used in racing games. Need for Speed uses Frostbite.
Really?
Madden uses Frostbite.
Holy shit.
I mean, it's like the most versatile game engine there is.
I never knew that.
Yeah. And so, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Let me drop some knowledge on you, son. Okay, anyway. So, with that, so action games, Rise is really the only one. Right? Adventure games, does Xbox even have anything?
What I think Xbox lacks is a heavy, story-driven single-player game.
Except for Quantum Break.
But that's like the only one. That's like but that's like the only one, though.
Yeah, I think.
And Rise. God damn it.
Yeah, actually, Rise had a really good story.
Yeah, it had a fantastic story.
Okay,
God damn it.
Should we just ask Mario?
Yeah, what do you think, Mario?
Penguin suit.
Okay, so I don't even understand how to interpret that.
Fantastic.
Okay, yeah.
Is there anything else that you say, Mario?
I bet you he says all kinds of things.
Oh, he's walking out of the bedroom.
No, Mario, come back. Just why don't you just tell us a little bit about how you feel right now?
I'm so excited.
Fantastic. Okay, anyway, nobody cares about Nintendo. With that said, so action, adventure, horror games, right? RPGs, I think, is a really big one too, right? Where does Xbox even have anything in the RPG field?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of much either. One area I know they're at least hoping to be really strong in, that I think Sony has neglected completely, is MMOs. And at first thought, this might not be the fact, right? Like, people might not automatically associate Xbox with MMOs, but there's two big ones coming out this upcoming year, 2018.
Crackdown?
No. I mean, Crackdown is probably coming out, but not an MMO.
Oh, it's not an MMO, right?
Yeah. What I'm thinking of is one, Sea of Thieves.
Oh, that game looks promising.
Yeah, I would say it looks okay, but every time I've heard anybody who actually played it talk about it, they're blown away.
Really?
Every time they're like,
wait, is it out now?
No, it comes out later.
Oh.
And but it did have like I don't know, exclusive beta, whatever you'd call it.
Oh, right.
But so that's one, and the other one is State of Decay 2, which is not supposed to be like MMO format, but with zombies.
Really?
So that might be pretty interesting. Yeah.
Wait, it is MMO format?
It's they're calling it MMO.
Really?
Yeah.
Because the first one isn't.
The first one is not. The first one's split.
Wow, so that's like a big leap they're going from then.
And that would be like one really interesting merger of worlds, right? Mm-hmm. So zombies have been getting kind of stale. I'll say that because there have been so many zombie games recently. But zombie MMO might be enough to where I actually want to jump in and see what's going on. As long as it's not like Morrowind. Because, my God, that game is
oh, my God.
By the way, we'll have a full review of Morrowind next weekend. I know the game's been out for a while.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking of buying it, do yourself a favor and wait, because I promise you, our review will not be favorable.
We're late reviewers, so just catch us on that. But yeah, like I think they really have to step it up in the State of Decay 2. Because State of Decay, I just recently played it because I wanted to get acquainted with the series before Part 2 comes out. And I gotta say, it wasn't really that... I mean, it was fun, but not fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, it lacked a whole bunch of depth. There wasn't really much there. It was just...
like playing golf. it's fun but not fun. It's fun when you get really drunk and you have a bunch of cigars. But if you're not doing that, it's a horrible
And you
game.
carry around a flask, maybe?
Yeah. But if you're not doing that...
But when you're playing golf at a company picnic or something, then it's not fun.
Yeah, you're just like, man, why am I hitting this tiny little ball with metal sticks?
I thought you liked the golf.
I do,
Were you
because
telling
of
me
the
to
other
go-
parts.
Oh.
Where I get to, drink and
Were
smoke cigars.
you sneaking your own 6-pack? Dude, bring your own drinks. They won't care.
Dude, they don't. You put them in the golf bag.
Oh, the golf bag. See, I don't own the golf bag.
Why do you think it has like 16 pockets on it?
Oh my god.
It's not for all the extra balls and gloves that you need.
That's actually a good idea. Well, see, I don't have a golf bag, so I was like, where did you think I was going to put this 6-pack?
My golf bag. Is that sexual as well? Put the 6-pack in my golf bag? Anyway.
Let's not make it sexual.
Okay. So, here's what I need you to do. I need you to ask me how I would feel in Xbox Void. Also not sexual.
Imagine the men in black appear at your door and knock forcefully 3 times.
It's Xbox, dude. They wouldn't do that. Xbox would be like, Phil Spencer would call me up. He's like, "Hey, bro, how's it going?"
Oh, so it'd be like a bromance? Like, okay. Hey, Roman, what's up, man? Why don't you come to my pad?
so
We'll hold
casual.
hands. Yeah. What game would you like to make?
Does he sound like Cartman from South Park?
I don't know.
I hate you guys.
No, so if they came to you, Roman, you're the new executive of void filling in our video game department.
In our porn department.
What
What void would you fill?
Which void would you fill?
Oh god. Okay, so here are my thoughts. I'm glad you brought this question up.
Yeah, because I wasn't, staged into doing this.
So here's what I'm thinking. Picture this. So it would be an adventure RPG-ish kind of game, right? With some action and stealth elements. So the gameplay would be kind of like this. It'd be a mix of Splinter Cell, the last one, right, where you have the stealth portion that you kind of go from object to object and you sneak around very smoothly. It'd have the shooting of Stalker, which I don't know if have you played Stalker?
No.
For the PC.
No.
Okay, so anybody who hasn't played Stalker, it's an older PC game made by a bunch of, I think, Ukrainians. It's a pretty good game. Not the best game in the world, but as the developers would have you to believe, because he compares it to Star Wars, which it's not. But it is a pretty good game. It's fun. It has a really nice.
The recent Star Wars?
I mean, Star Wars in general. Like he thinks that caliber, right?
Okay,
Even though he's only had one game, and it was okay.
That guy's full of himself.
Yeah, he is full of himself, but he's also very wealthy because that game sold really well, especially in Europe. But so it had the gunplay of Stalker. The gunplay in Stalker is very inaccurate. So it's kind of like realistic. Like if you were given a gun, right, and you're just somebody who doesn't ever shoot it really, if you're just like trying to shoot people at a distance, like the odds of you hitting them are probably 1 in every 10 bullets.
I don't know. I'm a pretty good shot.
No, assuming you weren't. Assuming you're a normal person who doesn't shoot guns.
Yeah.
Right, not a redneck from the South.
Yeah. What are you trying to say? I am from the South.
But,
Not a redneck, though.
Yeah, not the Mexican South. Anyway, so like the gunplay would be kind of like that, very inaccurate. So you'd have to be, you're forced to stealth around, and shooting was kind of a last resort. And then there's also, I don't know if you've ever played the Sherlock Holmes game for the Xbox One. If you haven't,
no.
I bet you it's really cheap on Amazon, and it is really good if you like puzzle games.
I think I have it actually. I think I got it through the gold.
Oh yeah, it was on gold. It's really good. And what's cool in there is that in every level, you're given this scenario where you find clues, and then you go into this other mode where you actually have to piece the clues together yourself. And the clues can be put together in any order. And depending on the order you put them in, and what's important and what isn't, is the outcome you get. There's a bunch of different outcomes you can get for each case. And some are right and some are wrong. But the game doesn't tell you that. You just make an outcome based on what you think. And it's really cool because like there's all these factors that play into it, but you were given so much freedom that you could put these different things together in any form or fashion. And so it would have these pieces kind of put together, like Splinter Cell stealth, Stalker shooting, where it's not very accurate and it's hard to shoot people, and Sherlock Holmes mixed with realism. So, for instance, if you got shot in the chest or head, you'd be dead with 1 bullet.
Yeah.
right? If you got shot in, say, the arm or the leg, it'd be a couple bullets. If you got shot, like, say you have body armor, maybe it'd take like 3 bullets before the body armor breaks down.
Right.
So it'd be very realistic. So, like, again, like, the gunplay isn't the center point of this. Instead, the way this game is set up is this. You are a journalist, right? And let's say you're a failing journalist, photojournalist.
Yeah. Like,
you botch up your last job, and you're looking for work because you got fired. And so you get this position at a news organization, right, which happens to be like a conspiracy newspaper, which is like totally bonkers, right? Something like InfoWars.
Oh my
right?
God.
It's something crazy, right? Because you can't get anything else, nobody else will hire you. So, but desperately, you take this on, and they tell you like, we have there's a ship coming in that we heard about. You know, there might be some aliens on or something crazy. We need to go sneak onto and investigate. Reluctantly, you go on there. But what you find out is there aren't actually aliens on there. There's a smuggler. And so this game is basically, the story is you globe hopping from place to place, following the foot trail of this gun smuggler, trying to figure out how he's connected to the higher elites in the world, like the people in office, and how you can bring him down, and how you can expose all this. And so this is where that Sherlock Holmes part comes in, because imagine like you're in this level where like it's like a Siberian abandoned, or at least thought to be abandoned, military base, right, in Russia. And there's a few soldiers there, part of this smuggling operation for the guns, that are bringing guns into the U.S. And you got to sneak into it, right? So the first part of the gameplay is the stealth, where you sneak into it. The second part is once you're in the base, you gather evidence and intelligence. You take pictures of everything. And then you have to, as the player, piece it together how you want. And depending on how you piece it together, if you get closer to the right outcome, you get more points. If you get further, you get less points.
Right.
But the more points you get, the more unlocks you get for your character. So like, for instance, one of the things you can do too is you got to take pictures of people. So if you, like, let's say you take pictures of like people in high places,
right,
talking to this gun smuggler.
Oh, like that. Intel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And what's cool is like your controller can become the camera. So like, and it has to be like really realistic to where like your triggers could be the focus in and out.
Yeah.
Like A and B could be zoom in and out of the lens. Like left bumper could be the flash. The right bumper could be taking the picture.
Yeah.
And you got to actually position the camera. But then let's say if you sneak into that base and you see the gun smuggler talking to somebody, but you can't see the guy's face. So part of what you have to do to get the better picture is sneak around for extra points to get that shot of the perfect face. But then you risk exposing yourself.
Oh, that's high. And you use a controller for what?
Yeah, to actually like focus the camera.
Oh, I see.
Okay,
I see what you
mean. And then as you get better pictures, and if you piece the evidence together in your head right, so if you get more evidence, it's easier to piece it together. But more means to get more evidence, you have to sneak around more. And that means you have to risk exposing yourself more.
Okay.
And since the whole game is stealth, you don't want to do it. So there's always this trade-off of like, do I have enough evidence, or should I gather more to get better info? And by getting info, maybe you could get like, instead of just a camera, you can get a droid with a camera later or something. It could be better upgrades.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And so this whole gameplay is about like stealth, but also about trying to get that perfect shot because you're a photojournalist with your camera and get more points.
Oh, so you're playing on that photojournalism story.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
like it kind of like, and it also will tie into like what we talked about earlier with options, like game options. Like for instance, let's say like you're in this facility, like a abandoned, like maybe not even abandoned, but just like in Germany in a worker facility, right? Mm-hmm. And there's like this meeting in the middle of the night with some mafiosos and some other people, and you take pictures. But let's say you as a player forgot to turn the flash off on the camera. You start taking pictures, the flash goes off. All the bad guys become alerted. They start running after you, right? And you decide to, instead of fighting all of them, because you can't take them all on, because your accuracy is so bad, you flee. And as you run away, you see some cars, like some Jeeps or whatever, something like Range Rovers parked outside.
Yeah.
You hop into the nearest one next to you, right? And you drive off and you try to lose them. But what if you hopped into a different one, and that different one happened to be a girl that was waiting for one of those guys to come out? Now you have a whole different character mixed into the story that you wouldn't have had before.
So you can do either or.
Yeah, like and that's where that invisible choice comes in.
Yeah.
Right?
I think they should add that a lot more in gaming.
Yeah, but I mean that would be the deep single player experience where you play as this like stealth kind of like photojournalist, but you have to also have to piece together. So there's a lot of like some strategy involved in it too.
Yeah.
For the Xbox lineup that's been missing. I think that the deep single player game.
That would be a super expensive game.
Would it?
Because you're adding so many elements. I mean, some that aren't as focused, like the shooting aspect.
Yeah.
But you still have to account for the shooting mechanic, the story mechanic, the deciding mechanic, the stealth mechanic, the invisible choice mechanic, and whether or not the player's gonna take that, side mission that could have turned into a non-side mission or something, or alter the story. I mean, that's like a...
Dude, so I totally agree. I think it is going to be actually expensive. But do you think it's going to be any more expensive than making, like, say, a Grand Theft Auto?
Oh, no. I mean, those games are high-budget games. Right, so I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying that's a very, how would you say it? Involved game.
Yeah.
Very involved. I like the concept.
And a risky project.
I would be curious to see how fun the shooting mechanic could be, because it would be so challenging. Like you say, like the accuracy is going to be not as good. So how would you account for an inaccurate AI to react? You know what I'm saying? Like how would the crosshairs look? Instead of the traditional crosshairs being so tight, it would be bigger because you know what I'm saying?
What if the crosshairs are just like a general circle? Like you see in a shotgun?
Oh, right, like a shotgun.
Yeah.
And the pellets go within the...
Yeah, so the bullet would go somewhere in that shotgun, but you don't know where.
Oh, so obviously, so no, that's, there it is.
And then like imagine like, what if the stealth was like this? Like let's say like you're hiding behind an object, right? In third person. Mm-hmm. And you're pinned down against that object. What if the camera doesn't zoom out far enough to where you can see around the object? What if you can only see your character? So you have to rely on like hearing footsteps and hearing voices to know where the enemies are, and you could only see them if you peek around a little bit. Yeah. But then you risk giving yourself away in the process.
You know one thing I didn't like about Metal Gear Solid 5?
One thing?
Is... well, one of a few is how easy it was to tag enemy players and just always know where their whereabouts were around. I didn't feel like you had that challenge of, is he going to be around this corner? That like you already knew. Now, of course, players can be like, "Oh, we'll just put it on a higher difficulty," but I just feel like just them adding that element made that game not as fun. So, like how you just described that stealth mechanic where you have to do, you have to think about going around a certain area and whether or not there's going to be somebody there. I think that'd be very fun.
And like one thing I was thinking too, like what would be cool, like one of the unlocks could be like this little mirror you get, right? So like, use a mirror to look around the corner. Like,
what game did that?
Was it a game or a movie? Because I was thinking of, I think, Saving Private Ryan, where he did that mirror.
I thought I saw it in a Splinter Cell, but he just did the camera, huh? Where you snake the camera. Yeah. I thought there was another, but I swore there was a game.
What's the Splinter Cell? Where he used the broken glass or something to look around?
Something. Doors? I thought. I could be mistaken, but I thought. But yeah, that's totally fun too. Right? Like use the mirror. Cool.
Yeah, that and I was thinking like
he could find that piece of glass in a mission that he's doing.
Yeah.
Like he just sees it like a story. He's like, oh man, is he there? He picks it up and then he gets past the guy by using it and he's like, oh, I better hold on to this. And then now you have that shard of mirror or glass or whatever.
And like the other thing too, like because it's focused on realism, like you have to think like this is just a normal guy, right? So like what if you're trying to sneak past that like an enemy? Mm-hmm. Like you want to take him out with your hands. Like to start off like let's say there's a guy that's about your size, you got behind him, and like it takes you maybe like 30 seconds to choke him out, right? Because 30 seconds in a game is a long time, right? Because you got to think 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Like you have to sit there and like try to choke, like you risk that. But then on the other hand, what if like you get into where you see a bigger guy, you try to choke him out and he's stronger than you and he pushes you off.
Oh.
Or then you go say you have to flee, so you have to always make that sacrifice too. Do you think I could take him out or not?
Like he might be able to overpower you.
Exactly.
And you won't, and maybe there's something that like there's no special ability you have to distinguish between.
Exactly.
You just really have to look at the character and decide, is this guy going to take me out or not?
Exactly. Right. Because like in real life, like you can't just take out every single guy you come up again just because you're behind them, right? Some guys are just going to be stronger than you.
Some guys are just going to put up more of a fight than others.
And like the last part I want to say was, as far as the gameplay goes, like the way I envisioned it being was there'll be different areas around the world with like a city hub. Right, the city hub would be like a place you can explore. It wouldn't be like super big, maybe pretty big and pretty dense with a bunch of different things. But each city hub could lead to different little missions that are more linear. Like not totally linear. They're still like have different pathways.
Yeah.
But depending on what you depending on what you choose in the story, as far as the hidden options go, is what missions you'd see. So for instance, if you were in that place where you happen to see this girl in the car, maybe that would lead to a different mission than if you just grab the car without the girl. Like a totally invisible choice, totally by chance, just like in real life, but it leads you in a different direction.
Yeah.
No.
Those are that's like a Witcher style theory, you know? Just you have these multiple options in front of you, but you don't know you have them until you approach them.
Yeah. Oh, dude! Speaking of Witcher, so I gotta tell you one more mission.
Goddamn.
So again, like I'm playing this awesome DLC, and so this is what's like another little mission that was really cool. I had to track down. Like I'm doing a heist right now. I'm preparing for a heist.
A heist.
Yeah, a heist. You gotta like break into some like ancient bank or something, right?
Oh, that's
you
pretty
you gotta hire a team. And you gotta find it. So you need like somebody that could get you through the walls, like scale the walls. You need somebody that could break into a safe. You need somebody that could do something else, right? And each one there's like two different options. Like you want to go the loud way, or the silent way, or you want to go like this way or that way or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so you gotta choose who you want to recruit, and you need to convince them to join you. But one thing that's cool is like the safe cracker. I just had to go after him first, and he was being held by mercenaries who just captured him for doing some illegal shit.
Yeah.
And my options were this. So if I wanted to free him, one, I could go fight all of them, all the mercenaries, and try to kill them.
Yeah.
Option two was pay these guys off and like, pay them the bounty because they offered to the bounty, right? And option three was I found out was play the guy for cards. Play whoever winner takes him. So you play Gwent with the mercenaries.
Oh, dude.
And the deal was this: if I lose, I have to pay double what his bounty is to them. If I win, I get him for free.
Yeah.
And so,
you know what that game? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that was it. That was the game. I played Gwent to get this guy out.
Oh, that's so fun, dude.
It's so cool.
I love the Gwent. When I played The Witcher 3 the first time around, I just really stacked one style of the deck, which was the one that you most commonly start with,
like Imperial or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. But then when I played The Witcher the second time around, I'm like maybe halfway through the game, I started stacking like the evil
monsters.
Yeah,
dude, that's a really fun
that
one.
deck is so really fun, dude. Yeah. I love that Gwent deck.
Because you put one down, all of a sudden like three other guys.
Yeah, dude, it's so fun.
Like,
I like played The Witcher 3 just to play Gwent.
It's so good. It's so good.
Oh man.
But anyway, that would be my dream game for the Xbox side. It'd cover the adventure side.
Yeah.
Right. It'd cover some of the stealth side, and it'd cover the strong like story-driven single-player part.
Yeah, that's amazing.